Across the country, oil and gas wells in places like Pennsylvania, North Dakota, and Texas are behind what's known as the shale revolution. The catalyst, the horizontal drilling technique called hydraulic fracturing or fracking. It blasts rock with chemicals and sand, allowing access to reservoirs thousands of feet underground. As a result, U.S. oil and gas production is skyrocketing, increasing America's chance at energy independence. Miley Bush is not a fan, however. Last year, a drilling company began fracking 400 feet from her Denton, Texas home. She and her neighbors say the process produced terrible odors and covered the area with sand.
It blows all over everything. It was all over the kids' toys in the backyard. And it's a carcinogen. It gets in lungs, and you can't get it back out. It's very much like, asbestos.
Although the fracking ended within a few weeks, Bush says her son's asthma went out of control, and many neighbors struggling with breathing and nosebleeds began keeping their children indoors.
Now, I know correlation doesn't prove causation, but it just seems a little bit strange that if my kids go outside for an hour, they cough all night long.
Bush and some of her neighbors are so concerned that they're now following the lead of other cities across the country. They want to ban fracking in their community. Denton resident Dr. Adam Briggle supports the ban. He teaches bioethics at the University of North Texas.
They're pumping in thousands of gallons of chemicals down there, and a lot of those rush out in the early days, but they're coming out over the lifetime of that well. Those chemicals are coming back out, and when they come back out, they volatilize at the air temperature, at the air pressure here.
It's a high-stakes fight over fracking here in Denton. Of course, it's just one city, but if one Texas city votes to boot out oil and gas interests, the national debate could pick up steam.
There's never been an area in Texas that has banned drilling.
Dr. Ed Ireland works for the Barnett Shale Energy Education Council. It's part of an effort by companies that drill in Texas to answer the concerns of homeowners. Ireland says a vote to ban fracking in Texas could encourage other communities to do the same. He notes that without fracking, it's impossible to drill here and in many other shale reserves.
The Barnett Shale is a dense rock, and when a well is drilled into that rock, nothing comes out until it is hydraulically fractured. So before hydraulic fracturing is used to complete the well, as it's called, it's just a useless hole in the ground. So no one will drill a well if they cannot use hydraulic fracturing.
We met Ireland at the site of a well on Bobby Jones Ranch in Denton. Jones lives on the property with his children and parents. He says he's not worried about the fracking on his well, which sits right next to his house.
We have not experienced any kind of problems, nor have our neighbors.
Texas monitors air quality, and its environmental agency states overall air in Texas is safe to breathe. But nationally, environmentalists maintain air quality in urban areas on the Barnett Shale are a, quote, significant concern because pollutants from natural gas development can cause cancer.
We commercialized this technology very rapidly before we had much science about it. Now the science is starting to catch up, and there are databases online that show there are real problems here. Respiratory problems, skin problems.
For Jones, who is leading the charge to fight the proposed ban, the issue is mineral rights. That is, who owns what's underground.
It's essentially what it's doing is condemning my minerals. I've got to have the fracking process to develop our minerals.
If the ban passes, that's where the fracking fight is headed, a court battle over mineral and property rights. The outcome could reshape Texas state law and draw national attention. At issue, whether state drilling regulations supersede Denton's, which would mean the city's ban, in effect, confiscates mineral property.
For any governmental body, state, local, federal, to come in and say, oh, you no longer own these mineral rights. We're taking those away. We're going to make it illegal for you to access those minerals. That is not the American way.
Courts in New York State have recently upheld local fracking bans. In Colorado, legal battles continue over several. And in Texas, there's serious debate about how the state Supreme Court might rule if Denton passes one. At stake, the future of an energy boom that has put the U.S. on track to energy independence and literally pumped billions into our national economy. But for parents like Bush, it's also about her family's future, their health, and where they'll live. Reporting in Denton, Texas, Heather Sells, CBN News.